Hey everybody, welcome to the Showboys podcast. I'm Pixel Nick, and joining me tonight is Chadwick the Third. Chad, how are you?
What's up, man? I'm good. I'm
We are
here.
back 3 for 3 for the summer of anime, as we've just turned it into, and yeah, cross another one off the list. I was excited about that, and definitely a vibe shift. We've
Big vibe
shifted
shift.
we've
Yeah.
shifted completely opposite of our first movie. I say the second movie's right in the middle. So
Yeah.
Ninja Scroll. Um, Sword of the Stranger, right?
Got
That
it.
stranger with the sword.
Yep.
And now tonight we'll be talking about Spirited Away, which is full on like Disney. I think
100%. Yeah.
isn't Disney part of it a little bit? I feel like I saw when I was looking for
Um,
the thumbnail for tonight, I saw some graphics that said like Disney presents. So I don't know
I
if
don't know that I've ever heard that, but I mean, it wouldn't necessarily shock me. Uh, Disney's, so I think they might have invested in it, maybe that's what I remember. They invested like a small portion of money into the right for the distribution in North America. That could be it.
production began in 2000. Pixar animator John Lasseter, a friend of Miyazaki, convinced Walt Disney Pictures to buy the film's North American distribution rights,
There we go. Okay, that's what it
and
was.
served as the executive producer on the English dub version. So they brought it to the North America.
Yeah. Yeah,
Makes sense to me.
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, even dude, when you watch this, so I have like a kind of like a deep emotional attachment to this movie because I saw it like brand new 2001 is like maybe the first anime movie that I had ever watched. Because I don't think that I got to Ninja Scroll until like maybe Ninja Scroll was before this. I don't know. I can't remember. It all blends together. But this is like maybe the first appropriate anime movie that I watched for my age. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, it's just everything about it. It just feels so comforting for me to watch this movie. Like the piano score at the very beginning of the movie, I like.
Right.
It's such a chill, and it's so even the music in this movie is so Disney distinct. It even sounds like Disney music, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a deep emotional attachment to this movie. I have a deep nostalgia for this movie, but I want to hear about you because you have not seen, at least to my knowledge, you've never seen this movie, correct?
No, I can't even say I've heard
So
of it. No,
I'm
the
curious
studio,
to see.
obviously.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on it because it can be hit or miss with people. So curious to see if you're a hit or a miss.
No, it's a cool one to add to the, the Rolodex of things I've seen. I can see why it's like super popular and even like a cornerstone for like North American audiences. But I don't know if I would watch it again, but it's definitely a movie where you can watch it and it just really sticks with you, right? Like I'm never gonna forget this movie because there's just so much to it that's just so unique. Just how like it's trippy, it's like an Alice down the rabbit hole kind of thing as
Yeah, it is.
well.
Yeah.
And has a ton, it's like, it's called like a coming of age story. And yeah, the way they just kind of unfold and approach everything and just kind of, I think everything being okay, right? It's kind of like maybe a theme of the movie. Like a lot of things kind of like try to present themselves and set them up as like the bad guy or the villain or the problem or like the thing that's gonna like get her, but like everything really kind of just works out to be okay at the end. And I think that's the very like trippy dreamlike nature of it, because ultimately like there really wasn't any way she was gonna fail.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about it. But like the initial like half, it's a long movie, like it's a little
It's
over 2 hours
Yeah.
long. But like the first half is definitely leads you down the path of like, okay, where does this go wrong? And there's plenty of like frightening moments. Like it's a weird frightening, like it's like an aloneness frightening. Maybe the shift of the movie from being like this alone feeling, that trippy feeling, to really just like a dream state, and then kind of coming out of it is just like the way it leads you through that, I think is really unique and cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I like the coming of age kind of stamp on this one because like when we first meet Chihiro at the beginning of the movie, she is like a snobby, bratty little kid in the back seat on her way to a new town, right?
Yeah.
With her parents complaining about the flowers that she got. And she's kind of shitty. She's almost like the little boy in Sort of the Stranger through the first part of the movie.
Yeah.
Almost ruthlessly annoying. But then you see her slowly change into like a, growing up a little bit through this entire experience she goes through in this kind of spirit realm that she gets transported to. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just so a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff is very long.
Yeah.
That's what I would say is probably their biggest downside. But this is their most. I really have to think about it if I would put this as their best movie ever, because there's just such a plethora. There's such a plethora of movies, and there's such a plethora of animation styles and storytelling. There's one that's basically like all hand drawn in like crayon looking stuff. So there's such a wide range of everything that has to do with Studio Ghibli, but not unlike, I mean, even if you look at Disney, like Disney always had the same style. You know what I mean? There's very little variations in the animation,
Right.
between like the Little Mermaid and Aladdin, let's say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not the case with this studio. I think they have a wide range, but they do tend to land on the 2 hour plus mark. Now there's a couple that are shorter. And maybe some point we'll get to that. I have ideas for what we're going to do after this if we want to continue this. We're going to maybe bring it back to some adult anime after Spirited Away, give you a little break from the from that childish anime. But did you like it? I mean,
No, I definitely liked it. Yeah. No, it was good. I'd say it held my attention a little tighter through the mystery of it than maybe something like Sword of the Stranger.
Yeah.
Or even Ninja Scroll, because they do get like super kind of adulty and dry at points, right? Where they kind of lose the sense of adventure because they're just doing like exposition and different things for the sake of it. Whereas this is like you're just constantly like following her and like really have no idea what's happening. So it's the intrigue of like, where's this going? Like, how is she in danger? How's she going to get out of here? For the most of the movie is like she constantly just keeps going deeper down the rabbit hole of this little spirit realm. But no, yeah, I definitely liked it. I mean, I would probably, this would be a good one for the kids to watch as a first,
definitely
first swing.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's super abstract at the same time. Like
so abstract. Yeah. Everything in it is so abstract. But honestly, like at least when I like sat my kids down to watch it, I think it being so abstract is what glued them to the screen. You know what I mean? Because it is very colorful. It's very animated. It's not like anything that any American studios are putting out animation wise, at least in this time, 2001. So yeah, it just feels so distinctly different, like much of all the anime movies that we're probably ever going to watch. If you look at them in a bubble of their time frame, they're radically different from stuff that was going on over here at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Disney movies around 2001, I want to say that was like the Atlantis like art style. Yeah. Atlantis came out in June 2021, so there's that. Monsters Inc. 2001, Atlantis 2001.
And that's really when they were because like Monsters Inc. shifted to like the kind of 3D computerized animation, right?
Correct.
So it's almost kind of when they were shifting into that.
Yeah, basically the sci-fi edge, because you can also think of right, like Treasure Planet, right? Like that's basically Atlantis just in space. all that. Yeah, they were kind of doing a more mature like art style. They're
Yeah.
going for realism off of their previouss. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this one is just, I mean, it's very good looking movie.
Yeah. Yeah. For 2001, man, like it still looks good to this day. It holds up very, very well. But yeah, we can start getting into the plot a little bit. So we meet Chihiro, and like I said, she's kind of like a brat at the beginning of the movie. She's riding in the backseat of a car with her parents. They're moving to a new house, and she's complaining about getting flowers as a farewell. I finally get a bouquet, and it's for a goodbye. And she's just complaining and being a bratty little snob in the backseat. And Dad clearly doesn't know. So 2001, yeah, like this has to be before GPS, right? So Dad doesn't really know where he's going, clearly. Like, so he ends up getting lost or making a wrong turn, and they come up on a dirt road. And they could see their new house way up on a hill. But he's like, well, let's just take this road. This will lead there. And it doesn't lead there. It leads to kind of a dead end. And I love the product placement here. They're driving an Audi.
Yeah.
Very, very distinctly in the movie, it's an Audi, which I thought was hilarious. But they come across this kind of abandoned
theme park is what
theme park. Yeah. Like abandoned theme park, I guess is the best way to put it. And they wander in just exploring, and they find like a fully stocked buffet. And dude, I don't know what it is for me. Like, you really haven't seen any yet, but anime food always just looks so damn good. Like,
I mean,
every time.
That's one of my favorite things about Dragon Ball Z, and that's why I like why it's in Kakarot, because like eating, like just those are the great scenes too. Like when they're just like when Goku and like Gohan and Vegeta, when all the Saiyans are just smashing all the food that's available, like the way they eat is just awesome. So I do like eating scenes. So this one, was disturbing. It's probably the most disturbing part of the movie for me. There was just, I mean, it's just, it was just what is so dreamlike about it, right? Obviously, like you're drifting into that space, but it's like, man, her parents are like wigging out, man, on this food.
Going crazy. Like they've been on a desert island for the past 3 weeks, and they haven't eaten anything.
And there's even like a snort. You can hear a snort when she's walking away, before you actually know. And it's just like, dang, dude, like this is weird.
Yeah. So she kind of wanders off and starts exploring a little bit past her parents. And I think she sees like a train. She walks into a part where
here's a train.
Here's a train. There's like
sees the tower, then like looks off to the right, and there's the bridge to the bathhouse.
Yeah. And she eventually comes back to find her parents have transformed into pigs after eating the food. So they are full on pigs sitting there. And she is kind of trapped here now. She cannot leave this area anymore. And she meets, and I can't remember how to pronounce his name, Haku, I think is how Haku. You say it.
Yeah.
And he kind of instructs her, tries to calm her down a little bit. She's having a little bit of a freak out as she's, her parents are turned into, I mean, rightfully so for any kid. I think she's 10 years old. So 10-year-old being abandoned, her parents are turned into pigs. And, he kind of finds her, calms her down a little bit, and instructs her to go try and find a job at this bathhouse. And that's kind of where we're heading off first. And we head towards this super bright. It's like no longer a dilapidated theme park. It's like a poppin'.
Night sets. Night comes over, dusk, and the lights that kind of start coming on, and then you kind of see all these different. Now that we know spirits, moving through the town, all headed toward the bathhouse. But everything like vibrance up and very just kind of quintessential, like Japanese, 1800s, all the lights, lamps, colors, all kind of leading to this bathhouse.
Yeah. So before we get too far into it, I got this in when we went to Disney. And Disney at Epcot Epcot is like not a very kid friendly park at Disney. There's not much for kids to do in Disney or at Epcot rather. There's like 4 rides, maybe 3 of them are from the 80s or 90s, but they have a huge section of like different parts of the world that they've built. So they have like a UK section, they have a Chinese section, they have a Mexico section, and they have a Japanese section, which is awesome. And it has one of the biggest, most fully stocked Japanese like anime stores that I've ever seen in my life. Whatever you want, and food, anime, and I got this Spirited Away book. It is entirely in Japanese.
Wow.
But I was just like, dude, I have to have this. Like, even though I'm never going to be able to read it because it's fully written in Japanese.
It looks nice though.
It's so nice, dude. The quality on it is like, it's not that thick of a book, right? But it's got some freaking heft to it. They're like almost like
it's all the ink.
I think it's like they're almost like photos.
Yeah.
Like that kind of glossy finish to them. But yeah,
you can see where the pages, like you could bend the pages and they'd stay kind of bent.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I was like, for sure, dude, like I have to get this. But yeah, it's got kind of the first part. This is only the first book, so it's got kind of the first part of the movie here.
Oh, it's not the whole movie?
It's not the whole movie. It's just part 1. So I think it ends when she's kind of right after she meets Haku, and she's kind of heading down to the boiler room.
Oh wow!
Which is right where we're at right now. Ironically,
that's like every frame then.
Yeah, yeah, literally. Yeah, and it looks like it's like just ripped directly out of the movie. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know. If
no, I mean, I'd say so. That'd be my guess.
But yeah,
it has the little paper birds into it, so it looks about halfway.
About halfway through what?
The movie. If it has the paper birds in it chasing her toward the end there.
Oh yeah. This is her leaving the bathhouse or the boiler room that I was looking at. Yeah, it is way further. You're right.
I was gonna say there have to be like 4 of them if that's all the further it gets.
Yeah, it's when the birds are chasing her down the. Okay, yeah. But anyway, I don't know how many more. I don't know if I'll ever even be able to find. Unless I go back to Disney, I don't know if I'll ever be able to find that. But anyway, we eventually go and meet the Boiler Man, and he is a yokai that's kind of running the boiler for the bathhouse.
He's so cool.
He's cool, dude. His design. Yeah. What'd you think of his design?
Well, like even right before this, like Haku he's interesting because the way he is calm and just kind of like gives her all of the quote unquote right things to do, like eat this, right? So you don't disappear. But it's like, should she eat that? Her parents just ate a bunch of food. They turned the pigs.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like they do a good job at like kind of spreading the like, I don't know, to me, the mystery of like, should she be listening to Haku? And they double down on it later too. And it's just like, how can, like, where's this going? Like, none of this seems on the up and up, right? There's the weird bird, right? That we figure out what that is later. It's just the way they just kind of set it all up and not give you a lot of information. So you're kind of on this, they do a good job making you on the journey with her for sure.
Yeah.
Then you get down to this boiler room, and then like it kind of just gets more weird because dude is literally like a spider dude with at least 6 arms.
At least 6, yeah.
6 arms and maybe like feet. I don't know. But he's wild.
Yeah, and he's got his little like dust bunny dudes. Like I don't know what they are. He calls them. Them something.
Like
soot bunnies.
Soots, yeah.
Yeah. So in any Studio Ghibli movie, there's always like some sort of cute, adorable creature that you want a plushie of. And this, for me, in this one is these little dust soot bunnies, just because they're adorable. But
yeah, but even it's so. That whole scene, like she's there for a while, right? And she's like, he's ignoring her, and like even the way Haku is like, he's gonna try to trick you into not getting a job, so just like no matter what, just insists you need a job. I thought he was tricking her because technically I was like, he didn't give her a job. He just sent her upstairs to go get a job. I was like, did she just get tricked? So like, even that, I'm just like trying to follow what's going on. But even like the deep, like thematic things where she tries to help the little soot bunny thing and takes its rock, its lump of coal, and they all want to, and then it's like you're taking their job. You can't have their jobs, and it's like because they didn't have to do it anymore, they tried to not do it anymore. I'm like, geez, that's deep. Like,
yeah, yeah, man, yeah, definitely. So yeah, that whole scene kind of pans out, and then she's sent upstairs with Lynn, who is one of the workers, to go meet Yubaba, which is the witch of the bathhouse, the kind of old lady that runs it. Just absolutely horrifying design, if you ask me. She is disturbing looking.
Very and then her name's, what's her name?
Yubaba.
And then there's just Baba. I think that's the witch in Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
Baba is just a witch there as well, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, so she kind of tries to scare her away initially, and then eventually agrees to give her a work contract. And to talk to me about Yubaba, because I got to get stuck on her for a second, because she's really scary looking in my eyes. Like, that's the one part I think for a movie, at least if I was a kid, a young kid, would scare the shit out of me, dude. Like, she's terrifying looking. She's got like this ginormous nose, ginormous head.
I mean, even on the way up, you see a lot more spirits, and like the thing that like Haku's like, don't look at it, and it's like the giant, like weird armed, like Pokemon looking dude. And it's like, I don't know, I got some really weird vibes from that thing. I'm like, why can't he look at like, and then it's just like following her. I'm like, like how creepy is this about to get? I'm like, I don't know, like, is he trying to kidnap her or something? It's like, what are all these spirits too? Like, that was just interesting. But then you get upstairs, and then through a series of elevators and corridors, and then she gets like dragged in there, and like it's weird because it's just dress and head. Like, she doesn't really have feet. She just has little arms, but like this wood looking head with plastered looking hair. It's just really over the top. Definitely terrifying.
Definitely terrifying. But it's at this point in the movie where she gets renamed to Sen, I think. Sen.
It's like it's like a Z and an S together. It's Sen.
And that's taken away. I think they explain it that she takes away like one of the kanjis in her name to make it into Sen, which is cool, because if you take another kanji and put it on there, it's radically different. So that shows you like what the kanjis are like, and why it's such a difficult language to learn to read, because it's just you move one thing and it changes everything about it, But while this is going on, I think it's around this point that it might be around this point where we see No Face for the first time, right? As we're coming into the bath area, and she lets that spirit in. It's the dark figure with the white mask.
So basically she gets a job, but I'm pretty sure she sees it on the bridge, because she holds her breath over the bridge, like because she crosses back out to go visit her parents maybe, and she sees it first there, and then later while she's working with what's her face, right before they get the big tub job, she just opens the door and then lets No Face
in. And it's just this is another one of those like
also freaky with like you see its leg
designed.
Like you see its leg, like it's a solid black leg figure that steps through the cloak of the spirit, which is weird. Really cool design though, and all of both of the main like spirit designs, No Face and then the river spirit that they thought.
So I'm trying to find. There he is on the bridge. So here's the guy I'm talking about. Guess so hard to point. So yeah, this is another one of those just like classic. Anytime I see something, I want to buy. I want to buy it that has No Face on it because he's just such an iconic, iconic anime character at this point. Even though he doesn't do much. He kind of muddies the entire movie up for everybody, just because he's like a. What did they describe him as? Like a polluted river spirit or something like that?
Well, no, that's different. No Face came after that polluted river spirit. So like they thought it was just like a stench
The
spirit.
stench from the spirit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Ubaba had a hunch that it wasn't exactly that because it was like a river spirit that collected a bunch of trash and was just polluted.
Yeah.
And they were able to fix that.
Yeah.
Whereas like later, after the bathhouse shuts down, No Face kind of like tricks the workers with like the gold, and then they just, because they're like, hurry before Ubaba like wakes up, they're just trying to get as much gold as they can. So yeah, No Face was kind of lurking around because No Face helps her fix the river spirit, right, by giving all the good tokens to get all the good water. So that was kind of that.
Yeah, and I think No Face is like starts eating them at some point. Some of the workers start swallowing
the frog,
the workers.
Ate two others because he got upset. And it was really quick, and they said like, being in the bathhouse makes him crazy, and like he's fine outside of the bathhouse, but being in the bathhouse kind of turns him very gluttonous.
Yeah,
he just like can't stop.
And that's after I think Sen now kind of declines his gold offer, and she takes off, and then he gets mad and starts eating the workers.
Right, because at that point, Haku was already hurt, right?
No, not yet. I think that it's right after this
go?
Scene. Yeah, I think she was just.
Oh, she got the food from the river spirit, right? It rewarded her with that, and then she figured she fed it to something, and it made actually fed it to the river spirit, which helped. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
but she had that, and I think her thought was to give it to her parents. So she has this like food, this little like clump of food, but she keeps losing it for different reasons, different pieces of it. So like she's trying to get to her parents, but then ultimately No Face is like, I need to see Sen. And Yubaba like was in there just like trying to keep No Face from just going out of control. But then she was just like, hey, this is great, but I really need to go. And he got more mad. And then she just like gave him that food, healing food that just made him start just barfing everything up. All through the bathhouse.
Yeah. So you were close. It's right around here where we see Haku flying around as the dragon, being chased by the paper you want to call it, paper birds. And this is where he kind of gets injured and crashes into Yubaba's like, what do we want to call it? Penthouse office.
Penthouse.
And Sen kind of follows him up there and
climbs on up.
And then do we learn about the twin sister here as well? This might be where we start to head that direction. We're moving pretty quick through the movie, actually, now that I think about it. But it doesn't matter. There's not a whole lot of stuff I wanted to touch on as far as the story goes. I want to touch on like all this stuff in here is like a lot of Japanese folklore. Like even the paper birds is a Japanese folklore thing. So it's so rich with, spirits from Japanese folklore and everything. It just is it just feels like comfort food when it comes to Japanese stuff for me. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it is for anybody that has kids out there. It's probably the anime movie that I would say, if you want to get your kids into anime, this is where you should start, because it's a nice, even though there are some like abstract weirdness going on throughout the movie, especially with Yubaba and her just whole look, and the baby also.
the
Like the
baby.
baby's terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like scary elements, but it's all presented in a friendly enough way where it's not like damaging, I don't think,
Yeah.
because it's fun enough. To me, it's no different than like The Secret of Nim, right? And if anything, The Secret of Nim is worse because The Secret of Nim is like ultra dark and
Yeah.
dense, even though it is like a fun, rats being human like kids movie, but like it's got some really dark themes in there.
Yeah.
Whereas like this, just like, I don't know, the whole feeling throughout the movie is like not until like the last 30 minutes is just has a sense of like there should be like it should be scary and like this should turn terrifying at some point, but it never does. Like the piano score obviously helps a ton, the way the music's done, and how nothing really ever is a problem. It's really just something like she overcomes and she gets over and she moves through and past, and like there is no like bad guy. Like even Yubaba isn't really a threat. She's just kind of like a malevolent witch that likes that, has a bad attitude and runs a bathhouse, kind of like
Yeah.
a sleaze bag.
Yep.
Haku ultimately isn't dangerous, even though the girl that works there is like, don't trust him. He's the henchman of her. You later find out why he is the way he is. He's being controlled by her.
Yep.
And yeah, there isn't like any particular threat, and that's what's so dreamlike about it, is that it's exactly like a dream where you can go through a dream and there not really being a point or an existential threat in the dream. It's just kind of you're moving through the motions of the hallucination.
Yeah.
And you kind of just overcome the next thing, and next thing you know, you're flying. Next thing you know, like you're in a weird hall. You know what I mean? Like it's just one thing after another, and it doesn't really compound or stack in any way. And that's just like the dreamlike nature of this movie that is so fun. And I think is what it makes some of the weirdness like less freaky,
shocking.
Because,
yeah,
because it's presented in such a harmless way,
right?
Because ultimately she never is in any danger or any harm.
Yeah, that's the thing for sure. Yeah, I like your, now I haven't seen it maybe in probably 30 years. I like your Alice in Wonderland kind of comparison. This is like kind of the Studio Ghibli's nod to that, maybe. Although I don't know.
But even Alice in Wonderland is like freakier than this.
Oh yeah, dude. Alice in Wonderland is terrifying. At least the original one is terrifying. Or at least it was when I saw it when I was like 7 or whatever. Did it come out? When did it had to have come out before this, right? Had to have. Yeah. It had to be like 80s or 90s. I think, at least.
1951, technically.
1951? Holy crap.
Yeah, the original.
Okay, maybe I'm not thinking of the original.
The Disney animated film Alice in Wonderland was released in 1951.
Did they make no, maybe I am thinking of this one.
2000, they re-released a special edition of
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But it was still the same animated Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. That might be it. Yeah. So eventually we learn that Bo, who's the baby, or skip ahead a little bit here, is missing.
Well, she climbs up there and like finds.
She climbs up. Yeah, she climbs up there. Yeah,
bloody and beaten, but she gets a little sidetracked because she has to deal with Baby.
Yeah, and which we
hear earlier.
Yeah,
because when she first meets Yubaba, like because they're like yelling or whatever, like they wake the baby and she like freaks out and you just hear this baby crying and she goes to kind of like soothe it, and it's just also freaky because you just met this really scary witch lady who has a baby somewhere in here, in this bathhouse. So it's like, what's that? What's that mean?
Yeah. And this is the point. This is the point where that paper bird shapeshifts into Zeniba, I think is her name, which is the twin sister of Yubaba, and she curses our big boy Bo. We'll call him Big Boy because this is the biggest baby you've ever seen in your life. It's like full
Yeah.
grown. I mean, he's big. Yeah, he's huge. Turns him into a little mouse.
Well, the funny thing
And-
about that big baby is it reminds me of, and this would be a nod in the other direction for sure, but in Toy Story 3, when they're at the daycare, if you've seen it, there's
Yeah,
a giant
yeah,
baby
yeah.
doll at the daycare, right? So a big old baby doll compared to like Woody and Buzz is bigger than them because it's a baby doll. But it definitely reminded me of that a little bit, and maybe that's something that they had in mind when they made that character. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zenima kind of talks about this stolen magic golden seal that carries a deadly curse, and that's what she's after. And at that point, Haku kind of destroys the bird, and she vanishes. And Tail whips it out of there. And yeah, where do we go after this? We go with Bo's missing, the mouse is missing, and
they get in a fight. Haku and them, they fall down the shaft, and then like he makes some breaks, and they're able to go through some channels to get into the boiler room. Because that's ultimately where the boiler man, he can help out a little bit, and I think even what's her face shows up as well. She kind of walks in, she's like, "What the heck is going on here?"
Oh, okay. So this is here I am. So this is when she's running down to the boiler room. What you thought were the birds chasing her are actually just words on the page. Is that what you were looking at?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is when she runs down those steps and sees the dude smoking out the window, and then goes into that door, and it's the boiler room. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, got totally sidetracked. So they go on after to try and find, I think, who is it? Sen, the mouse, and No Face.
Also the bird,
right? Is No Face
that's turned into the little
bird
bird that's carrying around the baby.
Carrying around the mouse, yeah, which is hilarious. And they go to try and meet the twin sister, and they kind of get to her like little cabin thing in the woods.
Well, I like the little bits of lore they always like. They just randomly will break out, like as you learn that the bathhouse is there for the spirits to come and like relax and like cleanse themselves. So it's kind of like just a pastime for the spirits to come to the bathhouse. But even like them, they were so happy with Sven about helping the river spirit, right, cleanse out all that dirt because he's rich, he's also very popular, and she's like, he's gonna spread a good word about the bathhouse, and we're gonna make a bunch more money. So like there's that like niche, but she doesn't care anything about that, and that's ultimately why No Face got angry, because she didn't want all the gold No Face was trying to give her.
Yeah.
But a little bit like, but we know about this train that comes and goes from the bathhouse, and it's like all the way down on the ground. But there was like a storm the night before, which flooded everything around them. So it's kind of like an ocean at the same time. And the train is like, the water's gone down a little bit. So now the train just goes through like probably like 4 feet of water over the tracks. But whoever it was told her about the stops, right? So you want to get off on like the 6th stop or whatever. So I'm like, okay, so this train that like travels around, but like there's like different stations and stops. I'm like, more than you ever like will figure out or understand about the movie, but like there is just like extra bits of information that just makes you wonder.
Well, it just builds that kind of world around the story, you know what I mean, where it's not just all happening in this one location. There's obviously a deep tunnel of areas here through the train tracks, different spots that you can go to. And I would love for them to go, Spirited Away too. Let's go to one of these other spots. Maybe it's not a bathhouse. Maybe it's a whatever casino or something.
Yeah.
So I would love, but that's not really Miyazaki's way. Like I don't know that he's ever. I really have to think about it, but I don't think he's ever put out a sequel to one of his movies. I'm pretty sure he's exactly like the Dark Souls creator, whose name is Miyazaki too. Outside of Dark Souls, he doesn't do sequels either. So you're never going to get a Sekiro 2. You're never going to get a Bloodborne 2. Anything like that. Elden Ring 2. Dark Souls was the only one that ever got it. So yeah, and I like that because sometimes these creators get so spun up on one story because if you think of like George Lucas, now George Lucas is maybe a bad example because he did do other stuff. No direct sequels. That's what I thought. Yep. He did do other stuff. But you have to think of like somebody that maybe who does Harry Potter. Now that she did something different too.
Well, right? Yeah, this Fantastic Beasts.
But that's like takes place in the Harry Potter world, right?
Yeah, it's all the Wizarding world. Yeah,
it's all Harry Potter. So yeah. So sometimes like some of these people get so spun up. George R.R. Martin, prime example, so spun up on his Game of Thrones bubble that he's built himself that who knows what he could have made if he came out and did something else. He did a sci-fi thing or space thing or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool that Miyazaki he just goes from one movie to another and doesn't think about sequels. That being said, though, I'd love for at some point in the future, maybe as like his final movie, Spirited Away 2. That would be awesome. And I'll have to look up. Go ahead and finish out our story here. I'm going to look up because I think we're close to the end, right?
Yeah, because this is
we're relatively close.
Yeah, because this is basically exactly where I just watched it, like all but 45 minutes ago because I fell asleep last night watching it. I really tried to I just could not do it. Like I fell asleep once, like 30 minutes to go, then I like rewound it and then got through 15 more. I'm like, I am not like coherent enough to like process movie at this point. And I'm like, it's at the end and I really don't want to like miss anything because if they like somehow magically explain everything, not that they do, but I just it ended very gracefully, luckily, but definitely. Anyway, I just watched it, and they get off the train, they walk a little bit, and obviously like No Face, right? The rat and the little bird are with her, and she goes and she just like basically just comes up to the door of the sister's shack and just kind of walks in, and the sister's like super opposite of her sister at the bathhouse. Like she's just super nice. She says, "Call me Granny." She like makes them tea, and she kind of explains different things. Like Sen instantly gives her back the charm or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, that's interesting," and that's nice. But she's like, "I can't really directly help you save your parents or Haku. Like you can do that. You just have to remember certain things." She's like, "Remember what?" And she's like sitting there like trying to like think about what she needs to remember, but she has no idea. Meanwhile, like she has No Face, the rat, and the bird kind of like helping her knit and like weave yarn. Ultimately gives her like a little hair braid to tie up her hair.
Magical hair braid, I believe. Yeah.
Magical hair braid. Yeah.
Hair tie. That's what.
So she does that. Like there's like a big gust of wind, and she's like, "Oh, perfect timing. Like we have another visitor." And she goes outside, and it's Haku in his awesome dragon form, which is like bird feet, snake, dragon scale, cool thing. Very cool dragon. Almost like you would describe it as a worm too, as dragons have been described before. So he's back. So really she kind of gets on. I don't know if there's much more kind of said from her other than she has No Face stay with her. She's like, "I could use some help," and obviously that's probably a better place for No Face because he gets in trouble in the bathhouse.
he gets in some trouble with the bathhouse.
Nothing nefarious about No Face. He just has a hard time in the bathhouse, and he needs to stay out of the pool halls and and casinos. He just has to stay in the woods in the swamp. yeah, so they all go back, and but they're riding. This was the cool part, was they're riding on Haku back, and she's kind of holding on to him, and as he's moving, as he's flying as a dragon, she gets this like this memory back of falling in this river, um, and she tried to get her shoe out of the river. She fell in, and essentially she remembers the river carrying her back to shore, and she remembers like that was you, Haku, and the name of the river was this, and like that must be you, and then like instantly he remembers. He sheds his scales, he turns back into Haku. They fall a little bit, and then he remembers, and he can fly still, luckily. So I was like, oh crap, can he not fly no longer because he's not a dragon? But yeah, I liked how he explained that. He's like, oh yeah, and she was like, yeah, it's all apartments now, they filled it in. He's like, that's why I can't find my way back, like the river just doesn't exist. And yeah, that was cool, because all the way at the beginning of the movie he was like, I kind of feel for you because I can't remember my name, and he reminds her of her name, and she's like, do not forget it, like you will forget it here. And if that's part of Yubaba's trick, is like she gives you a new name, you forget your name, and then that's even you're further detached from where you came from. So that was cool, because he was like, I've tried to remember for so long, and I just can't, and it's just gone, and that's part of my problem. Yeah, and then Yubaba's sister like put a spell on him for stealing the thing in the first place, and hit her love for him, and vice versa. Like broke it, because even the swamp Yubaba's sister was like, "Wow, that was you broke the curse. Like, good job. Only true love can really do that."
Yep. Yeah.
And they head on back.
Yeah, it's super cool, because like I said, just so distinctly in Japanese folklore, very Shinto religion as well. A lot of Shinto religious stuff in here. Yeah, just everything from the kami, which are all the spirits. It's all the cool Japanese folklore stuff that I find so tantalizing. And the dragons, dude. So I watched it, and this is totally sidechain. It had nothing to do with the movie. But there was I can't remember if he was on, I think he was on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about how dragons actually existed. And the reason that there's no fossils for them is because they had bird bones. So they have like hollow bones, and they don't fossilize.
They gotta fly.
And he's like, every single society throughout the world has depictions of fighting things, giant reptiles that were flying around in the skies. Yeah, dragons. Now they I would say they differ widely in appearance. Like the Japanese ones here are like snakes, no wings. They just kind of like go through if you ever played Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you know what those dragons are.
Well, the greatest, like, to me, one of the most memorable like exercises in the 2000s was, I think it was the Discovery Channel. They did a special where it's almost like War of the Worlds, where everyone thought it was real, right? When they read War of the Worlds on radio. Well, this, you're watching this Discovery special, and it's completely done from the perspective that they legitimately found a dragon in like an ice cave, and they're like unearthing it, right? So, but like as they're doing that, they're like filling you in on all the like connected history of dragons, right? But obviously the dragon wasn't real. It's just kind of like a premise idea of it. But they, that does a good job, and plenty of other research when you're talking about like ancient civilizations and stuff. It's just like it's one of the few universal things. There's universal things they all share, but like the depictions of dragons, but I think it's cooler that how much they differ, right? Because you have like the European versions, which are kind of more like Pete the Magic Dragon, very bulkier, chunkier. They got 4 legs, wings. We've talked about this with Game of Thrones, all the different variants, or at least the styles, right, that they cross and like what they reflect. Whereas like Chinese ones are much more like worms. they don't
Yeah.
have legs. They are really just flying serpents.
Yeah.
Where Japanese is a little more like this, where they have legs, no wings. They're more like serpents, right? But then there's ones that like wings, no legs, and yeah, the variants are so cool. But yeah, they're everywhere and they're
Yeah.
carved in stone. So like,
Carved in stone. Yeah. I mean, it just seems, there's a lot of stuff in this world that we're never going to understand. Right. That's maybe one of those things where it's like, how did all these guys throughout the world that had no connection to each other, no contact whatsoever, come up with, generally speaking, a giant reptile that was flying around in the sky, right? Like
well,
it seems
that and a shared extinction like event. The
yeah,
flood
yeah,
is universal to
yeah,
all of these to every culture, ancient
yeah,
culture. The way they followed the stars and built pyramids and all that stuff. That's
yeah,
actually good coverage on Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, with the Graham dude.
yeah.
But yeah, just kind
I
of the
do.
suggestion is that there's like there's a global civilization before us, and that was
Yeah,
all
yeah,
kind of lost.
and it's weird because when you look at it, it does seem, now here, don't get me wrong, I don't want to get on like a conspiracy kick here, but there's some things that are hard to explain that were built,
Yeah,
even if it's the pyramids. I don't like
yeah,
the explanation that is given often, that how those pyramids were built. It just seems like, I'm not saying, get this straight, I'm not saying aliens came down and did it. I'm
no,
just saying I think that those societies were
right.
far more advanced than we are giving them credit for now.
And not
That's
just
all
their
I'm getting
societies.
at.
Like I
Yeah.
think the idea is like there was a society that even if it existed before, was advanced enough to do some crazy stuff, and then just like shared that throughout as like people recovered from whatever destroyed everything
Yeah.
before. Like that's the idea.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
Ancient Apocalypse show, like it does veer on the side of like really far back, like a real suggestive like what used to be. But what it does do really cool is like it covers a lot of new archaeological discoveries, that are like even more unexplainable than the pyramids. When we're talking about like, I think in Turkey and like Syria, there's like basically underground cities that basically like people
Yeah.
could live in the underground without coming up out of it. And then there's like a place in Cambodia or Thailand where there's this huge hill in amongst many many hills and mountains, but like there are chambers that go down down down. So like lots of evidence of just like humans building subterranean
Yeah.
networks and like being able to live underground. Like why did they want to live underground? Like what
Yeah.
happened? All
Right.
kinds of crazy stuff like that. But there's a ton of new like archaeological evidence of just like that. Doesn't answer anything, but it definitely makes more things just like, well, we can't just keep rolling things into the same timeline that we have.
Yeah.
It
So
left
so
sense.
so I'm a even though I don't talk about it on here, I am a nut for UFO stuff. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just hot on the case of all the, especially now where it's becoming so like mainstream, all these reports. And the theory that I always bring up, that and it cracks me up every time, because people look at you like you're crazy when I say this theory. Okay. The theory that I have is that they're not coming from space, they're coming from the ocean. That's my theory. And people lose their mind. Like, it's way more scientifically sound that they're coming from the ocean, right? Like, nothing's traveling billions of light years to get to us. Like, that doesn't make sense with the way that we understand technology today and physics. But when you say like, yeah, they're coming out of the ocean, people are like, you're freaking crazy. Like, that's way more logical in my head. And that kind of leads to
who's
your
coming out of the
underground,
ocean?
whatever these UFO things are.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, whatever these things that the Navy has been detecting over the past 5-6 years that they've been releasing over top of the ocean.
like Pacific Rim. Like there's a fissure.
No,
Yeah,
no. I don't think it's like that. But you can go, yeah, you can go multiple different ways with that, because you
yeah.
could go, it is aliens, but if you're going to come to Earth, where's the best place to hide so you're not seen? Probably the ocean, right?
That's a crazy thing though, because because the idea that they string together for like all these different, peoples all around the globe that have these very shared practices and like knowledge, like where did they get this stuff from? Like clearly it's more advanced than it should have been. Like we're not talking about hunter gatherers and like primitive people. Like
Yeah.
these were sophisticated
Right.
societies. Even, as recent as like when the Spanish found the Aztecs and like the Inca, like Tenochtitlan, like Mexico City, what that was, like that place was one, clean. It was abundantly clean. Like their
Yeah.
sanitation was ridiculous. Like their societal structure was completely teed up and organized. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, the idea is that like a survivor or group of survivors, right? Because they always depict kind of like visitors, and even some of them have this like not Jesus build, but like man with a beard and like came upon a ship kind of thing. So it's like, so if we're trying to, if one theory says that, some people on like a ship showed up and like spread this knowledge of like an ancient time. Maybe they had to have come from the oceans, like they technically did, right? They just showed up on the shore on a boat, but from what you're saying, like they're coming from somewhere else within the oceans.
Yeah. And
It all lines up.
Yeah, it does line up. And the running theories for what it is in the ocean is, one of them is leftover remnants of whatever this society was, this super technologically advanced society.
Gungans.
Yeah, whatever. I hope so. Oh, actually, no, I hope not, because that sucks. At the end of the day,
Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, at the end of the day, whatever these things are, might be a naturally occurring phenomenon that we don't understand right now that they're picking up. If you haven't read or looked at any of this stuff, you should look at it because it's very intriguing. It's no longer the quack in his backyard with a super shaky video filming what he thinks is a UFO. It's naval FLIR images from a fighter jet that are picking these things up, and they don't know what they are, and they're outmaneuvering anything that we have, not even close to what we have.
Yeah.
So something's going on. And my only point is, I don't care if it's aliens. I don't care if it's underwater fish people. I don't care if it's a remnant from a long lost civilization. Let's just figure out what the hell it is, because though if they're hostile, we're in some deep shit, because we should at least figure out what's going on. Maybe it's China, maybe it's Russia, but let's figure it out, right?
I mean, there's that Rickard structure in Africa, in West Africa, where they think that's now Atlantis. Like there's some very favorable evidence that suggests that that's where Atlantis was. Something wiped that out. They had to go somewhere, unless they all died. But like if they did go somewhere, right? Like they retreated into the oceans and they're still down there.
Yep.
It's plausible.
That's crazy. That's another thing that comes up is Atlantis, one tied to these UFO things, remnants from whatever that was.
Disney had to get their story concept from somewhere. Like that was entirely underwater, and it was humming right along.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's just like there is a distinct. We should do a podcast on this because I could talk about this shit for hours. Actually, I think Brady and I did do maybe on our Patreon where we talked about all this UFO stuff.
Yeah, there's a Patreon for UFO stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely a Patreon. So if you're interested in that, go check out Patreon, because we did like a pretty long episode on all of this stuff, because he's just as interested in it as I am. But yeah, anyway, what are we talking about? UFOs, Spirited Away. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, so finish up the last scene here, and then I want to talk about some of his other movies.
Yeah, the last scene is like pretty clean too, because they show back up on the other side of the bridge. Yubaba's kind of got all the workers are kind of like watching from the rooftops. Even the boiler room guys up there. Yubaba's got like 10 pigs on one side of the bridge in a little pen, and they come back and Haku's like, hey, like fulfill a deal, like let her go, like all's well, like don't be a bee. And she's like, we've had a deal. I have one last thing. And she makes Sen pick out of these pigs, like, if you can tell me who your parents are, you guys are all free to go. And it's funny, she's just staring at it, and like it's a trick question. Like she's like, they're not here. None of these are my parents. Which is a pretty fair guess if she had to guess, but I think she knew. and that nailed it. You know, all the pigs
Yeah.
turned back into workers, and everyone was super happy because that's the other cool thing is like she shows up and she's kind of like wanted, right? Because the boss, Hubaba's like, there's a human here, let's find her. So everyone's kind of against her. But as
Yeah.
she kind of wanders through this world, like everyone likes her. She's like very pure hearted, very, very genuine, very nice, overly nice, right? And yeah, pure hearted to the point where she just like helps people that need help. And she does a whole lot of that, and it really just turns everyone to her side. Like the boiler room guy ends up liking her. The girl that like she trained with likes her. Obviously, Haku likes her, and just everyone just ends up being in her favor. So they're all super excited that like she got that right, and Yubaba has no more tricks to play and just has to go. And she's like, "Fine, get out of my sight,
Yeah.
and go." And Haku kind of explains the rest. He's like, "Your parents, they'll be on the other side of the glade, the river, kind of where you left them. Not where you left them, but you know they don't even know anything's happened. And you'll wander back and don't look back. Like just go straight for it and get out the tunnel and leave." There's a moment where she wanted to look back when she found her parents, but she remembered. But it's interesting because they walk out of that tunnel and the car has been there for at least like a few days, but
Yeah.
it even seems like it's been there longer. So I'm curious,
Yeah.
like what the
How long
answer
it
is there.
was.
It's like
Yeah.
it looks like it's been there for months.
Yeah,
like,
it does. Yeah.
which is crazy. But like in there, like at best I can guess, it was like 3 days, right? Which is still a long time, maybe enough to do that, but it was kind of
I don't think it's
overgrown. Like
enough. Yeah, I
it
think
was like
it's
months,
months. Yeah.
which is crazy because it would have been nice for him to show back up at the house and be like, "We sold it. Like you
We
guys
sold
never
it. Like
showed up."
you guys disappeared. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be cool. Maybe in the sequel.
And you know, when you're talking about sequels, there is a little bit of work there laid out because when the movie first starts, there's all those broken like spirit like houses
Yeah.
there. And obviously this is like an abandoned theme park where this is housed. So it's almost like you could say there are locations on Earth that are tethered to the spirit realm. The
Yeah.
same way that the spirit realm established that there are other places in this spirit realm, which could be like in loose reference to Earth. So, you know, if there's other sites like this, like they're going to have a way in to the spirit realm. So you could, yeah, I would say you could do a sequel.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, and
There's always a bigger bad in
there
in
is.
spirit world, right?
Yeah,
Yubaba's
yeah.
not the ultimate one.
No,
Like
she just runs a bathhouse in the spirit world.
exactly.
She's nothing. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you liked it, man. That's the first kind of dipping your toe into Studio Ghibli. The list that I'm looking at, and this is going off of Rotten Tomatoes, it's number 5 on the list of Studio Ghibli movies as far as ratings. It's got a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. And the number 1, which has 100%, is that one that I was talking about, The Tale of Princess Kaguya. I don't know how to say it, but that's the one that's like drawn in like water painting. Like it's gorgeous.
Before this, the Grogu like short on Disney Plus is my most exposure to Studio Ghibli.
Oh, I forgot about that short. Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, my son
one
used to love it. Like it's just so
Yeah.
calming and peaceful. It's only 2 minutes long, but
it's so
awesome.
short. Yeah.
It's so good.
But it really
even that has little dust bunnies in it.
Yeah,
too.
I was gonna say most of their movies have some sort of little dust bunny creature. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's a lot of movies. So I want to know, like, are we continuing our anime of summer thing that we got going on here?
I think at least 4 is appropriate. We gotta do.
Okay.
We got.
Okay. Let's determine that first if we want to continue.
Yeah.
So there's options. Because the original reason that I brought this up, or not the original reason, but the original 3 movies that I brought up were Ninja Scroll, Ghost in the Shell, and Akira, which are 2 movies that we have not seen yet. I have not seen, period, Ghost in the Shell or Akira. I might have seen Ghost in the. Let me look up Ghost in the Shell. I might have seen Ghost in the Shell, or I might have seen the crappy live action.
Oh, the live action one with
yeah, what's her face? Black Widow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Black Widow? I think it's Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson. Oh, I guess that makes sense. That movie's based on the anime, I would assume.
Yes. Yep. So they are both like futuristic cyberpunk style movies. I think that Ghost in the Shell is probably the higher rated out of those two. Let's
Ghost in
look.
the Shell Arise on Crunchyroll.
Versus Akira.
What do you mean in order? What the heck? There's more than one? This is
there's
hard.
one. Yeah, just Ghost in the Shell. That's just the first one. Also have to see if they're on anything is the problem.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. 1995, Ghost in the Shell by Mamoru Oshii.
Yeah, Akira was 1988. And you've probably seen, at least in passing, if you go look at the cover for Akira, I'm sure you've seen the cover at some point in your life because it's a pretty famous shot. So it looks like Amazon Prime.
I think Amazon Prime has it.
Looks like Amazon Prime has Akira. Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, 95. Tubi.
Ghost in the Shell 2.0. Ghost in the Shell available to rent or buy. 1996.
I wonder what 2.0 is. That a sequel?
This has to be the original one, 1996. Well, you can buy it for $5 right now.
Oh, really? Nice. Oh. So those two options, okay? Now let me look up, because there is another director who has been making more modern kind of coming of age fantasy adventure anime.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a couple of phenomenal movies as well that I have not seen. So trying to land on at least movies that both of us have not seen, so we can do one kind of fresh.
Right.
So Suzume, I'll spell it Suzume, is
Suzume.
one of them. And the other, and this guy is kind of, I don't know if he's like the, I don't want to even compare him to Miyazaki because I think they're radically different, but
this one came out in 2022, right?
2022.
It looks like it's a Netflix movie.
Yes. And then Your Name is the other one, just spelled exactly how it is. And that one came out in 2016.
Open Netflix and there's this game called Cozy Grove Camp Spirit, and it looks like a Don't Starve Together style game on Netflix. These streaming platform games might have to get into it.
So do you have, I can't remember, do you have Crunchyroll?
Yes.
Okay, so Your Name is on Crunchyroll.
Suzume, yeah, so there it is on Netflix.
Yep.
And then
Your Name.
Do you have Crunchyroll?
I do.
Of course you do.
And actually, did you watch Godzilla -1?
Yeah.
The main character in that voices one of the characters in Your Name.
Oh, Suzume is on here character. Too. That's a series one.
Yeah, that's different.
Sub dub. There's that solo leveling. That was pretty. Seems pretty
Dude,
popular.
I want to watch that so bad. Yeah. So that every time that I'm at the bookstore, I want to buy those manga because they are pretty much outside of this one that I just showed you, the only manga that I've ever seen that's like full color comic book, American comic book style.
Yeah.
And the books are just freaking beautiful. And I've always wanted to. And the anime looks sweet too. So there's our options. Your Name, Suzumi, Akira, Ghost in the Shell. I since we just did Spirited Away, I lean a little further away from Your Name and Suzumi.
Right.
But at the same time, it kind of shows the modern anime style and how beautiful it is at times.
I mean, Your Name looks good.
Yeah.
I think Your Name.
That's the one you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. And that was on Netflix, you said? No.
That one's on
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Cool. We've always wanted to watch it. Never seen it.
4.9.
Name. 4.9 on
Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Let's see here. Total strangers living in completely different lives. Bustling city of Tokyo, connecting the bizarre way. Boy living in Tokyo. Yeah. I'm down for it. How long is it? Does it say? Crunchyroll does not put the time of the movie on.
1:46.
Okay, that's not bad. And then what were the Akira, I think, was a little longer.
Sub dub.
Akira's 2 hours. Ghost in the Shell is 1:23. Dang, Ghost in the Shell is real short.
That's 90s. Yeah.
90s. That's like, well, I mean, Ninja Scroll was about that, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Movies were a lot shorter back then.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, look at all Disney movies. They all some of them barely crack 1:20.
Right.
The older Disney movies.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Is that Your Name, Your Vote?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Your
for
name
next week. Yeah, we'll have to. We will have to eventually definitely do. Now that we've done Ninja Scroll, we have to do Akira and Ghost in the Shell because those are the 3 totems of bringing anime to the West.
Yeah,
so we'll have to hit those up at some point. Akira might be a little longer though. It's 2 hours for a 1988 anime. Might be a little rough.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Spirit Away. It doesn't feel like 2 hours. It's just such a pleasant watch.
Yeah.
And the way it moves through it, it doesn't drag much at all. You don't linger. That's the thing. You don't linger on one theme or topic too much. It's really kind of 4 or 5 distinct pieces to the movie, right? It's kind of like the start, the boiler room, the river monster stink thing when that showed up, No Face falling apart, Haku saving him, that whole sequence, and then the end.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of to me 5 distinct things.
Right.
Kind of little bosses she has to get past.
Yeah, the little mini bosses before she gets to the main boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool. Anything else?
I don't think so. Unless you want to talk about aliens for another hour.
No, that needs its own
it does
space.
Yeah.
Entirely. Even though we had a little side tangent. I mean, really just really you should just watch Ancient Apocalypse and just like that.
I might
alone,
that might tie it all together for me.
It will.
You know
It
what I
will
mean?
for sure. If anything, it's just like an excellent launching point for those conversations. Like if you just kind of like
Yeah.
take an episode and just talk about what they talk about in that episode, because usually it's like I think 1 or 2 sites he'll visit around the globe, and there's like a related theme to like the 2 sites. But the second season's all about the Americas, all the crap that they've found in the Americas recently. And then the first season's much more focused, like all your main stuff that's a little bit more known, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a good.
Yeah, I have to check it. What's it on, Netflix?
Yep.
I have to check it out.
Yes, sir.
Because I love that. I love that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's just.
And I remember you talking
style.
about I remember like maybe on like a What's Watching, you were talking about watching it.
Episodes like 30 minutes too. Like you can.
Oh, really?
If you're into that stuff, like you crank through it.
Fly through them, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in. This is the Summer of Anime, covering really all net new stuff for me. We're about to break into some net new material for Chad on the anime front. But yeah, I like this little theme going on. Maybe we'll let the rest of the guys back on the pod at some point. Or they can just start watching anime with us, and we'll just make a full pivot to anime pod. What's watching anime all the time? Maybe we can just transition the covering like one of the big animes, because you need to watch Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball Z.
No, remember we said something about doing like a Throwback Thursday style for Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that one would be able to. I have no idea how you would do Dragon Ball Z. It's like literally impossible.
Yeah, it would be rough.
I have no idea how we would.
But even like Attack on Titan's a lot of episodes too, right?
Yes, but it's 4 distinct seasons, so you can like watch a season and talk about it. Whereas like Dragon Ball Z, there's arcs, but each arc is like 30 episodes.
It gets super convoluted, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, but obviously you could sit down and talk about an arc in an episode. It's just like I don't know how I would ask you to watch the Frieza arc, for example, because it's like I swear it's like 40 episodes, right, for the arc, and they're all 20 minutes long. There's some throwaway in there, but like you got to watch all of it. So it's like I'm not asking anyone to watch an entire Dragon Ball Z saga in a week or 2.
Right. So 94 episodes for Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that one's broken up into seasons, and it's way more modern.
And are they 30-minute episodes? Or are they hour episodes? I can't remember. 30, probably 20 minutes.
Yeah,
30 minutes.
They should be your regular.
So that puts it like the first season has 25 episodes in it. Season 2 has 12. 3 has 22. 4 has 35. That's like right around Game of Thrones
25 minutes
size when you compare time wise.
Yeah, Attack on Titan's 25 minutes. So like that one could be done. Dragon Ball Z is just like ever sprawling.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is going to have to be like a hunker down for the winter, play the game, and crank through the anime.
Play the game, watch the anime.
Yeah. I was actually, when we got off the pod last week, I was looking up reviews of the game and watching footage. It looks great on PS5 Pro too, or PS5 rather. When it got the PS5
upgrade. Yeah, there's PS5 patch, and create 2 versions of the game, which is weird, but I think I was able to get through it. You had to do something weird to like port your game.
Oh, port your save over. Yeah.
It was something weird. But yeah, it looks great and also like runs great too. Like it's just
I'm worried about that for Red Dead, because I think that Red Dead 2 is about to get a PS5 patch. And I think the writing's
but why would you need to support your save to start over?
I mean, to be honest with you, there's really no need to, because I'm gonna replay the game, and there's no new game plus, so you can't like replay the game. Which Rockstar drives me absolutely batshit crazy with their no new game pluses in their games. It drives me nuts.
Well, it's the
Like you have
same
to
way.
restart it every time.
It's the same way once you get to the epilogue, like you can't go back to the rest of
Can't
the
go
game
back.
until like the
Yeah.
end or whatever. But then you're not freaking Arthur. Spoiler. But like,
Yeah.
it's like, what
Yeah,
the heck? Like,
I didn't
they
like.
force you
Yeah,
to just restart the game, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way that game is designed to be played.
Yeah, and I to be honest, man, I worry about myself if that gets a PS5 patch because I was neck deep in that game for months,
Yeah.
running at 30 FPS, 1080p on the PS5. If it gets a 4K 60 FPS patch, like game over, dude.
Yeah.
I'll probably never play another game for a year.
Yeah.
Just to be locked in that game, man.
Let the backlog build up.
Yep.
Cool. Well, tune in next
Yeah.
week for Your Name. Well, that's what we'll be covering. So hope you enjoyed our coverage of Spirited Away. This is our anime of summer, and have a good evening and farewell. Enjoy this outro that has the first
Ninja
movie.
Scroll.
Ninja Scroll. Yeah, Ninja Scroll.
Yeah.
Going.